Hello! It's the middle of summer, so we are inevitably thinking about water here in the garden. Water has been in short supply this year, especially in June, which was raging hot and dry. We are able to save about 15,000 litres of water here, but it's still not enough. So as a responsible gardener, I feel what we really need to do is conserve the water that we have in the soil, as well as providing it with extra from rainwater. So I want to talk you through some mulches, and I'm going to start with my favourite one, which is sheep's wool. Now this, as you can see, is a neat sort of semi-felted square. This comes in packaging called Wool, which you might have come across if you get deliveries from ethically minded grocers such as Abel and Cole, or I know that Butternut Box for Dogs does it. Anyway, if you are lucky enough to get some of this, take it out of its plastic packaging, which can be recycled with plastic bags at supermarkets, and then you've got this gorgeous fleece. It even smells a tiny bit sheepy, not quite sheepy enough for me, but it smells a tiny bit sheepy. Anyway, once you've got this, what you've got effectively is a mat which is permeable to water, it's biodegradable, takes about 2 years to break down, and it suppresses weeds and it keeps the water in the soil. All of the things that you really want in a mulch. I'll show you it in action. So here it is in action. This has just been down a week or two, and if you can zoom in a little bit, you can see that underneath is really damp, dark. You can even see little rootlets here, and lots of soil life going on underneath. There goes a spider there. And this is helping these tomatoes to make the absolute most of their soil, because obviously their chemistry can't work if the soil is dry, because it all works on the principle of diffusion. Now, that was my sort of presentable sheep's fleece from a commercial source, also being demonstrated here as a kneeler, very handy. Over here is another sheep's fleece, fresh off the sheep's back. So this came off a grey-faced Dartmoor from a friend just a week ago, and I'm thrilled with it. Extraordinarily, there isn't much of a market for sheep's wool, which is a travesty for farmers, but quite good news for me at the moment, because I was given all of the fleeces from this flock for the garden, and this has still got the lovely lanolin in it. So it's known in the trade as the yolk. It's like the yellowish colouring, and it's this beautiful oiliness in the fleece. There you see. It's all over, but you can particularly see it when it's yellow. I love it. You get it all up your hands and your arms, and it smells all sheepy. So when it comes straight off the sheep, obviously it's sometimes got some crappy bits around its back end, and all the better for it. They're full of nutrients. So I've got this mulching my tomatoes here, which I'm absolutely thrilled with. I've also got it round young trees. Everything in your garden, particularly perennials, but everything in your garden will benefit from a mulch. Now there are different mulches which are a bit less ugly and a bit more short-lived than sheep's wool. This one is my favourite, but I'm going to show you what happens when you grow somewhere where you've had woodchip down as a mulch. Here is a little bed with celery and 3 types of lettuce in it. Now these are annuals, as are most vegetables, and I had always thought that if you grew those with a woodchip mulch, they would suffer from nitrogen robbing, because the microbes in the soil need a specific balance of carbon and nitrogen, and wood chip's very, very high in carbon, so they tend to take the nitrogen from the soil for their own purposes. Now they eventually give it back, but your plant has been deprived in the meantime and might show stunted growth and yellowing leaves, that sort of thing. But this wood chip has been down for most of a year, and I raked it away to enable the bed, but left quite a fair bit on top and planted into the soil beneath, and actually they're thriving. And in terms of water retention, if I just scrape some of this away, bearing in mind that it's been relatively dry, look at that black wet soil there. That is fantastic, and that will be teeming with microscopic life that we can't see. I'm going to push it back there. Now another mulch, which is the standard mulch that we all use, is compost. And that is fantastic. Obviously it serves as a plant food, it serves as structure for the soil, feeds the roots, feeds the soil, biota. And but I have found, in terms of a mulch, in terms of a water retaining mulch, it is the worst of the ones that we've looked at today. It has many other qualities, but if you have the time and the resources, I would do a big fat layer of compost, and then I would put one of these extra mulches on top. And I think that water is one of those things that we're going to have to be super careful about, particularly as gardeners and as growers in the future, because we're making high demands. You can't grow vegetables without a lot of water, but it is a scarcening resource as there are more and more of us. So I think to learn to grow in a sensitive way concerning water would be a wise thing to do. One other option, which we all have lots of, is spare vegetation cut and put around your plant as a mulch. Not so deep that it can become slimy, as can happen with grass cuttings, but here I've got some bolted lettuces that I've just piled up around the bottom of this tomato here, and just like with any other mulch, if I pull it back, it's just teeming with life under there. I can't name them, sorry, and it's really nice and damp, and it keeps that moisture in. Now you can do this with weeds, any vegetation really. I even do it with bindweed, because it serves to dry the bindweed out on the top, so the root can't do anything, and actually you're getting some use from it.